all the practice and non-attachment, I think. But mostly it's just fun.
So it sounds kind of like a spiritual practice then.
Yeah, it is. I mean, to get to a place where you realize that, all right, this is going to really take some patience and some time to go from that first layer, and then especially when you start building up layers and figuring out where your shadows are going to go and where the highlights are going to go. Sometimes it doesn't flow how you imagine it would in your head, and then you can easily get discouraged. But then you kind of keep brushing away at it until you feel like it's working. And a lot of times it'll just be one part of the painting that just sort of explodes exactly how you imagine it, and then you kind of go from that point. At least that's kind of how I try to approach it. It's like, all right, this is there's not a particular game plan going into this thing, and then I don't know, man. It'll etch itself out after a while, which is really fun.
So you practice non-attachment then?
Yeah, and in certain ways, you kind of. I think it's important to do that. Like, for example, all right, this mural has a lot of hours put into it and thought, but in about a week, maybe week and a half, we're gonna have to whitewash over it, and you can't be mad at that. Number one, you got to make space for the artists to do their thing. Even if you feel like, oh, this is my masterpiece, kind of like you have to make space to do that.
So it's kind of like one of those Tibetan sand paintings.
Yeah.
Like you make it, you put all this into it, and is it
I would,
about gonna be
I
destroyed?
would hope that I would have that much patience one day, because, man, those monks put in, I mean, the amount of time and dedication that goes into one of those, gosh, I'll probably old and gray before I even get to an ounce of that. But it is a similar practice for sure, because you putting so much of your thoughts, so much of your energy into creating something that you feel like is important, that it's going to be impactful, and you definitely want it to be appreciated. You want it to be seen. You want people to feel it, and at the same time knowing that, all right, well, people are going to see it, people are going to experience it, but maybe not for as long as I want it to be. But that non-attachment is important, man. You create it, you send it out the studio, and you hope that people get something from it. You hope that it's not just something that they bought to match with their new couch. I like new couches too, but, like Basquiat said, just buy a new couch. I'm not changing my colors.